What is up, y'all? It's your girl Brand New, and I'm back in the building. This time I am back for a review of Iyanla Fix My Life. Y'all know that Mallory, and Cynthia were on Iyanla Fix My Life, and mainly it's about Mallory, and we'll call her Mal. She is going through a divorce from her husband of 12 years. The marriage is over. What I'm not understanding is, you said you haven't talked to him in 5 months. It's like some inconsistencies in her story, because if I haven't heard from somebody in 5 months, I'm not going to then say, well, yeah, he responded a few times through email. You have heard from him. So that was a lie right there. I didn't understand why she said that. And she keeps saying she needs closure. What do you need closure from? It's over. He don't want to be bothered. If somebody wants to be bothered with you, they know where to find you. They know to call you. He's using email, It's over. He don't want to be in it no more. And I don't want to say that like, oh, well, bitch, get over it. I'm not that type of woman at all in relationships, because I'm a woman as well, and I understand that, but Mal is too damn old to have. Now, if she was in her 20s, I would let this go. But Mal, you too damn old, and you did too much meddling, honey, in Cynthia Bailey's marriage to Mr. Peter, because y'all remember Mallory stayed in between they shit, and yes, their shit was fucked up because Peter was verbally abusive towards Cynthia, hell, financially, let's just call it out. But Mal, you should have spent more time in your relationship with your fine ass husband than worrying about Peter and Cynthia. So we're going to get off into this, you guys. Let's go. First off, as she's talking to Iyanla realizes that Mal, when she talks about her husband, she says she's married him. He was nice looking. She was really attracted to him. But he had some things about him that she did not like, that she thought she could change. And she saw potential, which is not what you can do now. It's what I think you may be able to do later if I work on you and we could work on it. Iyanla was like, you can't change a man. What if he doesn't want to be changed? I am one to believe that you controlled him in this relationship and was manipulative. And a lot of women do that, which is very true. And Mel admitted to being controlling, and she is. I could tell by her demeanor on Housewives a couple of times. She stuck her nose where it did not need to be. I had no idea she had a daughter. Her daughter has never been on Housewives. It would have been nice to see her daughter, though. Her daughter is real pretty. Iyanla tells Mallory, honey, you don't know who the hell you are. And that's why you picked a man you thought you could control, and Mallory agreed. She gets off into letting Iyanla know that she likes to be able to say, this is my husband, I am his wife. So she is caught up with titles. And a lot of people are like that. They don't really care too much about the marriage. They care more about the wedding and how everything is going to look, not taking into account that marriage, it takes a lot of work, sacrifice, and commitment, and you have to have the right intentions if you want the right things to come out of your marriage. Iyanla lets Mal know that she needs to learn how to be alone and not feel incomplete when she's alone. Mallory is one of those people that if she's married, then she feels complete. If she don't have nobody, she feels incomplete, which is the problem I see with a lot of women. They will hold on to that title of girlfriend or wife for dear life. So basically, Iyanla tells Mallory, I don't feel like you know who you are. Your mother, your sister, and your daughter is here. And there is no reason why you have all these people in your life and you still don't know who you are. They have not told you things that maybe you needed to hear about yourself. And that is the problem with a lot of us. We got a lot of people around us that don't mean us any good. I do feel Mal's family does definitely care about her, but sometimes, we're unwilling to have these type of conversations. So I am interested in how this is going to unfold. But yeah, Mallory, and like a lot of others, is lost because they don't really have people telling them the truth. Either that or they're just not willing to listen. Because let's face it, we could tell somebody the truth all day and that does not mean they will listen. Iyanla is looking to talk to Cynthia and the mother to see where Mal's behavior and patterns come from. So now they delve deep into it, and both Cynthia and the mother agree that Mallory pretty much wanted to be a wife so she could be financially taken care of, which is what a lot of women do. Then Iyanla starts digging into the mother's relationship with, their father and her other suitors. And the mother says, she got married at 17 and she didn't even really know the guy. And see, already you could see that history and that pathology of where Mallory got her demonstration of being a woman from, which is from the mother and what the mother did. And this is true in a lot of people's lives. So then Cynthia and the mother, they tell Iyanla that Mal actually got married in Vegas, didn't tell them because they didn't want, Mal didn't want them to stop her, which a lot of people do. They said when they expressed themselves to Mallory, about what she should and should not do, she'll get an attitude, stop speaking to him, doing that little silent treatment. A lot of people do that instead of having effective communication. So here we go again with the mother. Come on, mama, it was you. Iyanla said, well, where did Mal get this behavior from? The mother said, well, it wouldn't be me, would it? It's you. And Cynthia said, Mom, you are the exact same way. If I tell you something you don't want to hear, you get defensive and you just stop talking and you go a while without talking to me. So, Mama, this is on you and we need you to own it. So they also delve into Cynthia and Mal's mother and how she did what she saw her mother do, which is marry abusive men. She saw her mother being abused and treated bad. So those are the type of men that she attracted. Let's go to Cynthia and Peter really quick. I feel like Peter was abusive towards Cynthia. He was verbally, like how he would talk to her. Come on, y'all. Come on. That ain't cool. I do like Peter. I like his strong personality, but I just felt like sometimes with his wife, he was like, don't get me wrong. I really do feel like Peter loved Cynthia. He was just like an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. And a lot of times when you get with an entrepreneur, that scares people because there are no guarantees in entrepreneurship. Look, don't I know? There are no guarantees. You could come out with this, come out with that. People may not want it. They may not understand it or like it. In his case, it was them bars and restaurants. And Cynthia, she's the type of person where she gets any type of fear that anything could go wrong and it affects her. Like she's selfish in a sense. It's a good selfish, but then again, it can be bad. Because that fear runs deep. And it was just like, there's no guarantees with this. So Peter was definitely always the wrong man for her to marry. Yes, they may have had a good time with each other, but it just was never, because she's simply that person. Peter would do better with another entrepreneur that understands him. But yeah, the way he talked to her, and I would be looking at Cynthia and be like, bitch, it wouldn't be me in no kind of way. I would be screaming at him, you better get your black ass on in there and shut your mouth. Who the fuck you talking? It would turn into something just different on them cameras. And Peter, a Jamaican man too. They say they real aggressive and feisty, honey. So, me and Peter wouldn't have last, honey. Why y'all think him and Nene didn't used to get along? Two strong personalities. How beautiful does Cynthia look? Cynthia is one beautiful black woman. I love that hat. I am a hat girl just like Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing, Cynthia? I love hats. I love Cynthia's style probably more than anybody. I love Portia's body of Housewives. But I love Cynthia's sense of style. It is so the way I would dress. So she looked gorgeous. The mother is beautiful. Mal, nice looking family. Baby. So Iyanla sits with Mal's daughter, who is absolutely stunning, honey. Mal, how dare you have a daughter this beautiful and you didn't share her with us on Housewives? Her and Noelle, oh my God, those are some good looking girls. Anyways, it was interesting to hear the daughter say that I wish that my mom would stop lashing out and start taking responsibility for her feelings. And I wish she would stop blaming everything on Chris. Everything is not on him. I saw a lot of disrespect. She also said there was a lot of miscommunication in her mother's marriage with Chris. And it was a good feeling when she said she considered him her stepdad. So that doesn't, because you know how sometimes your parent may be married to somebody and you never connect with them, and you know. So it was nice to see that she was close with Chris. That part of the situation is healthy, that he really cared for her, and she the same as well for him. The daughter also gets into how Mal is very unappreciative of Chris and how he's bought her a car. You know, did he buy the daughter a car, put her through college? You know, not every man is going to do that for you. And the daughter is very well spoken. I was very impressed. So Iyanla explains to Mallory's daughter. Sorry about that. Iyanla explains to Mal's daughter that they need to clear up the pathologies within the family because it's important for the daughter to not go down the same path as her mother, which I feel is very true. And a lot of women in the black community, you see it all the time on Facebook. You see women, you could tell the type of mother that they was to their daughters. A lot of these women got kids with all these different men. If you go to their mother is the same way. 5 kids, 5 different men. You know, the mothers are friends with the daughters, not parents, friends with the daughters. The mother is their Facebook friend. They talk all slutty and nasty, and the mother is co-signing shit like the shit I see on Facebook. I used to just see the shit growing up, but you see that shit play out. And then before their mother, they had the grandmother who passed that to that mother. And then those women, they're going to pass it to their children. Like, it is a whole cycle of disrespect, being ghetto, being selfish, just having kids with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, not really trying to, and I'm not sitting up here advocating you guys, everybody get married, but not really settling down, you know, with that one person at least, trying to build something with them. You know, they're for their community, cootie cat. Look, I don't want to say the other word right now, but you know, like, as there is community penis, there is community cootie cat. Just go with any and everybody. These women I notice will say that, oh, I can't talk to that guy. He's a lame. This guy may be respectful towards them, faithful. They don't want him. They want the motherfucker that's cheating on them. The man that ain't paying child support, going upside their head. It's a lot of that, you guys. So as Mal is talking to Iyanla, she's telling her that she feels like she's allowed herself to make certain mistakes and she hasn't been totally honest about the whole situation with her husband. It was interesting to hear Mal say, you know, when I see something's about to go wrong, I try to fix it. That way that problem doesn't show up. Now, didn't you think of when she hid the marriage license from Cynthia and Peter so that she could be that barrier to say that they don't get married? Remember that her and the mother did that? See how that played out? So Mel keeps talking about her husband, and Iyanla lets her know, you are not here for your ex, you are here for you. You keep saying he didn't want to get married, he wasn't ready for marriage, and neither were you. You keep avoiding talking about yourself and how you feel. So Iyanla has Mal do this exercise, and it is filled with being, having, and doing. I love you, Iyanla. I already knew when I saw that this was going to be a wonderful exercise for Mal. So Iyanla begins asking Mal, well, do you have a house, a car? You got money in the bank? Do you have public recognition? You know, she gets into how she has this hair company and she helps donate hair to cancer patients, which is really good, Mal. And I would love to hear more about that than this other stuff, you know. Isn't it crazy how somebody could be doing something so positive and you never hear about that? You just hear about the problems and the negativity. That's just crazy to me. Mel also puts a ball into the doing bucket because Iyanla feels Mal is in denial about how she feels. She holds it in. She holds her anger in. I think towards the end of the exercise, Iyanla realizes that Mal has more balls in the having category than anything, and she needs to work on her being and being at peace and knowing who she is, which is very, very important for all women to know about themselves. I love how Iyanla pointed out that Mal does things to have things that doesn't include her being. That was very important that she point that out. That was good. So next, Iyanla meets with Mal and Cynthia. She wants them to both engage in a sisterly conversation with each other. Iyanla shows Cynthia that Mal has more balls in the having category than any of the categories that she presented her with. Then they get off into Cynthia pretty much stating that her sister likes to be taken care of, provided for, being a wife. And then Mel started to get defensive. No, I don't go out and seek those type of men. You know, their check is bigger than mine, but you know, I bring to the relationship. And Cynthia was like, I didn't say you didn't bring anything to the relationship. I said that's just what you go looking for. You are attracted to a certain lifestyle, which is a lot of women's problems, and they wonder why they can't find love. So Iyanla gets into Mel and how her husband has not talked to her in months. And she's like, why are you here when that is over? Why are you here? What are you here for? That man is gone, you know, and he has denied you. So what part of yourself have you denied? And Mal breaks down. Cynthia tries to console her, and then Iyanla breaks them up saying, no, let her, you know, breathe and let it all out. Cynthia, if you don't let her go, let her be her own person. Damn. Y'all know who I want to come on here now that I'm motherfucking thinking about it. Now we on some housewife shit. I want Candy motherfucking Burris. I want Candy, Phaedra, Portia, Nene. I want all them bitches on this show. I want us to get into that whole situation. I want for Iyanla to break it down to motherfucking Candy, how Candy played a part in that whole sex dungeon thing with Phaedra. And I know y'all like, bitch, why you bringing that up? But it has never been broken down. It's always been Candy was the victim and Phaedra's such a bad person. How dare she make up lies? I would love for Iyanla to break it down to Candy that, bitch, you were allowing your man to sleep with other women and you were sleeping with them too. And then when people called you out on doing that, you know, well, I never raped anybody. And yeah, but you participating in that put you in harm's way for that type of situation to go down like that. That's why you cannot do stuff and be married. Like, oh, I wish Iyanla could break that shit down. I love when Iyanla has that moment where she says, let your heart break. Feel that shit. Feel it. That way you can get underneath that stuff. That is right, because whatever we don't deal with, we will suppress. And you can sit up here all day. I want you guys to check out a documentary. It's called The Shadow Effect. They showed it on the OWN channel. That's Oprah Winfrey's channel. But anyways, look it up on YouTube, The Shadow Effect, where they talk about how we suppress a lot of our emotions. And, you know, we try to act like we're such these good, perfect people. And your shadow side is the side that you don't want anybody to see. And as soon as that side comes out, often it comes out at church, school, it could come out at home. You know, you have to be aware of the shadow, because if you're not aware of your shadow, then you can't deal with it. And you'll hear a lot of people, they're quick to call people bad people, and, you know, they're quick to just be real judgmental of people, and they're not even aware of the shit that they do and their shadow side. So shadow side, your shadow side has a lot to do with, are you ashamed of who you are and everything you've been through? Are you ashamed of it? And a lot of women will say, well, no, I'm not ashamed. A lot of this is through lying. No, I didn't do that. No, I don't have sex. I don't do that on the first. You know, meanwhile, them be the biggest hoes ever. You know, oh, I go to church. I'm that type of girl. Yeah, them the biggest freaks right there. So y'all look up that documentary. Really good documentary. Cynthia, I'm about ready to hit you. Now, you know damn well Iyanla just moved your hand and you still got your hand on Mal. Iyanla wants Mal to sit there, fully breathe in it, and then she moved. She said, you move. But right before that, she had asked Mal, why would you let somebody disown, dishonor, and disgrace you? Why would you allow that? Why would you put up with that? And Mal kept saying, I don't know. You know, that's something I got to deal with. And I like that Mal came to that realization. Mal ends up stating that she feels like she's exhausted, trying to make things work, trying to create a certain type of lifestyle. So then Mal ends up saying, which I knew was coming, I feel like I'm in the shadows of my sister. Let's get off into that. I'm going to check out what she's saying on that, and then I have what I need to say on that, because that provoked something in me, honey. And then Iyanla asked Mal, why do you feel like you her shadow? And she said, well, because we're so close. Everybody compares us. Gets off into this. Well, I feel like I had my own life until she started this show. See, I don't know if I like where this is going, because I feel like you making this about Cynthia and not you. You didn't have to appear on. Nene's sister ain't really been on no Housewives, so like people don't have to film with family. That is a decision that you chose, bitch, because you wanted to sell your little jewelry line. I didn't know you had the hairline, but y'all remember she does sell jewelry and stuff. She makes it, so you wanted to do it as long as it was beneficial to you. So I don't want her to make this about Cynthia. So Mallory breaks down and says that pretty much for most of their life, especially in high school, Cynthia was the big sister. I don't know why I thought Mal was older than her, but yeah, she's clearly younger. Yeah, that's right. She's the younger sister. She says Cynthia always took the lead, made the friends, you know, for them, and she depended on Cynthia. She never got the chance to do things for herself. Iyanla says we're finally getting the real Mal, and I agree. She's finally speaking her truth. But don't blame her for Housewives. You chose to be on the show. I'm just saying. So next, Iyanla gets with Mal, Cynthia, Mal's daughter, and the mothers. And she pretty much wants them to have a conversation on how to break a lot of their family patterns. So the mother lets them know that when she was younger, she was always yelled at a lot by her parents and her siblings. They called her ugly. They called her crippled. You know, she went through a lot with them. So Iyanla touches on how, you know, Cynthia and Mal's mother been through a lot, and she never even told them That's why it's important to tell your children what you've been through and really go into deep discussions about it. That way they have a better understanding of you and how to deal with you, you know. And Iyanla pointed out that Cynthia and Mal had to make up their own minds about, you know, their mother. They didn't really know that she came from that. They knew about the abuse of men, but before it got to that, that's where it came from. The parents and the siblings putting her down, and that's how she attracted the abuse of men. And then Cynthia went into this whole spiel of, you know, she always felt like she had to protect herself because Iyanla had mentioned that you guys saw her as weak. So you guys felt like you had to, you know, pretty much be your own parent. And that's what Cynthia said. Yeah, I always felt like I really couldn't rely on her. The mother apologized for not taking ownership of the family. But I see that with Cynthia's mother. You could really go back to that situation with her and Peter once again with Cynthia saying, oh, I don't care if I can count on Peter. You know, I could count on me. You know, that type of attitude, because she's had to have that attitude with her mother and her situation. So in some ways, situation with Peter was familiar for Cynthia. And the mother also apologized to her daughters because she watched her mother stay with her dad through any and everything. You know, he pretty much controlled everything, and that's what Cynthia and her mother, you know, she was used to that too. Do you see how this shit, like, so their mother basically, and I've noticed this from a lot of, matter of fact, I've seen this up front. And I'll probably get into this story in a story time. I have a lot of stories I could tell you guys to bring all this shit in where you could really see it. But their mother reminds me of them type of women from back in the day that put up with whatever, didn't question anything, let the man, you know, be the man and do whatever he wanted to them, and they just stick around. And like their mother said, I had nowhere else to go. So she learned that from her mother and therefore taught her daughters, you know, that in her own way. And they learned that they couldn't depend upon her to be strong. There are a lot of women, and I know one in particular that's older, that allow her husband to control a lot of stuff. And it's like she doesn't have a voice. So the mother then tells Cynthia that you don't have to be the boss of the family anymore. I am the boss. You're fired. And Cynthia has a hard time with that, honey. So once again, you know, Cynthia, she's taking me back to that thing with Peter. That whole, I can't depend on you. Do you see how much of her relationship with him is so much into her, with her family? You can like see the similarities between both of them. But anyways, Cynthia is just like, well, you know, she's at a certain age now. I don't really feel like she's really going to change. And Iyanla is just like, you have to learn to let people fall, let them make mistakes, and let them know that they can get up instead of, and I don't really care for people like that. It's a lot of people, I don't think that that's the case with Cynthia, but a lot of people take it to extremes of, oh, you have an emergency in your life and I had to be there for you. They'll throw it in your... I don't like people like that. You are not helping anybody when you act like that. We are all here to help each other because we're all human, and at one time or another, we will all need help. So hopefully, Cynthia said that, you know, she's going to step off the throne and let the mother take over, and they all agree to that. So Iyanla pretty much closes out everything with Mallory. She has the family read different things that, you know, that she has learned. I'm not going to get off into that because it's the same stuff that was going on throughout the episode. But she pretty much told Mallory to get clear of who you are as a woman so you could be a better mother, daughter, sister. And I agree. You got to know who you are to properly fulfill those functions in those roles. So that's all I have to say on that, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my ebooks. They are on Amazon under my name, Brandy Robinson. And I will see you guys later, I believe, for Married to Medicine. So check you guys out then. Have a wonderful Sunday.